Hello everybody, and welcome back to Balanced Basketball Academy. And today we are talking about Jalen Brunson, the little ankle breaker breakdown, and talking about his handle, the ability that he has to be able to get separation, get his shot off, finish well because of his elite ball handling skills. And so for those of you who are eagle-eyed and we're looking at my community tab, yeah, I've been hinting that I wanted to do a Jalen Brunson video, and this is that video, so I hope you guys are excited. For those of you who are new, my name is Jordan. I was a former college basketball player turned high school basketball player turned trainer, and today we're going to take a look at some ankle breakers from the one and only Jalen Brunson. Let's get into it. So, wow. This guy basically can handle the ball at such an elite level. What I would call this first move that he initially does is the Tim Hardaway crossover. Also, people refer to it as the killer crossover. It's a between crossover. That's all it is. So you're going between and then you're crossing in front. The thing that makes the move particularly deadly is that the between is an attack move. So you can see it right here when he makes that between. He moves his shoulders like he's attacking and like he's using that between as his attack move, but really it's actually a decoy. So the way he throws his shoulders here is really important. He throws those shoulders like he's going to attack and then crosses over in the other direction. Super deadly, very, very hard to defend. And that's why way back when Tim Hardaway made it very, very popular, and that was the move that he got people just stuck in the dust with and got named after him. So that's what Jalen Brunson uses to start right here. Look at that drop in the shoulders, nice crossover. He's got his defender going downhill. The problem is he's got some help side. So he spins, and realizing that he's got the defender on their heels, he's able to get, I believe this is Caris LeVert, to jump forward a little bit. And that's really all he needs to be able to finish what is quite a tough shot, actually. This little run, this little lean-in floater kind of move right here. We'll take a closer look at this. Look at the shoulders right there. And yeah, he gets LeVert to just jump a little bit, and that's all he needs. He's just displacing the defender. He's got a big man on him at this point. He's got Larry Markkanen on him. And he realizes that he has the speed advantage over Markkanen. He realizes he's got Markkanen all alone on the baseline in this corner. There's no help side. He can razzle-dazzle this guy all the livelong day, and he doesn't have to worry too much about secondary help. He is trying to get Markkanen off balance. He thinks that he can do that with some change of direction moves, and he essentially is doing that. He's just hitting him with a lot of moves all at once. So he's hitting him with that crossover. Markkanen's keeping up. That in and out step back is really all he needs right there. This is a really tough move to defend. The in and out is essentially a fake crossover, and if you throw your shoulders while you're doing this, players are going to have a really hard time being able to actually figure out what you're doing, and they're going to have a hard time reading which direction you're actually headed in. So when he does this in and out, Markkanen kind of just stumbles backwards because he doesn't really know how to react to that move. Then when Brunson hits him with a cross and a step back, he has just enough space because that in and out got Markkanen to back off a little bit to get this shot off, even though Markkanen, he's a big guy, he's a long guy. His outstretched arms are not going to be in the picture because Brunson has just enough space. So when it comes to guards, Markkanen did a pretty good job here, but when it comes to guards facing off against bigger defenders, a lot of times the thing is you need to combine several moves into one. You can't just hit him with one move and go, especially if he's keeping up pretty well. Markkanen does a good job, but Brunson realizes if I do several things at once here, he's not going to be able to keep pace with me. The other thing is pace. Brunson is not hitting him at the same speed all the time. He's making a quick move, reading the defender, making another quick move, reading the defender. He's not just quick, trying to, overwhelm the defender and therefore not giving himself an opportunity to take advantage of a slower pace or really reading what's going on. So not enough there, tries the in and out. There we go. That's it right there. So he doesn't hit Markkanen with all of those moves all at once. He's reading and reacting to the defender in real time. This combo move is against James Harden. So James Harden, while I believe he is fully capable of being a good defender, typically will give up after the second move from a player. And Brunson right here realizes that he can get by Harden. Most people can if they just try, okay? It's not a complete knock on Harden. I think Harden does other things very well, but defensively he's not giving it as 100%. And right here, it doesn't take much for Brunson to get by him. I'll give Harden this. He does his due diligence and he reacts to the first move. That crossover, he tries to cut him off, and Brunson just makes a very quick behind, and then he uses one of Harden's own moves against him. Once he gets hip to hip with Harden, his goal is to get in front of Harden in order to take him out of the play to where he could, kind of strip the ball away while he's driving, or block a shot, or even really foul him to the point where he would miss the shot. And Brunson jumps in front of Harden, creating a situation where if Harden basically touches him at all, he fouls him. And Harden's already so close that he has to keep his hands at his sides, because if he moves his hands up to contest, he's going to foul Brunson. So Brunson is looking for a foul call, doesn't get any contact, and he's like, that's fine, I'll make the shot anyway, no worries. So once he gets around him and in front of him, he just double pumps and hits that really tough floater. This is a change of pace move if I've ever seen one right here. A defender's rhythm is dependent on what the offense is showing them. So, for example, when you're watching a player, and if you're looking for this closely, you can tell when somebody is determined to score. You can tell when somebody's determined to pass. You can tell when somebody is just running the play. You can tell. It's all in body language. And so the defender runs off of that body language that the offensive player is setting. And a lot of times, offensive players can use this to their advantage, because defenders will be like, I know what he's going to do. And you really don't. And that prediction can work against them, and you can play with that timing. Right here, Derek White normally nails it, right? Tries to hit him with a crossover. White is staying home. He's playing good defense right here. Let me back up. I just missed it right there. And what Brunson does is he gives this little fake with his head, almost like he's going to pull back and look to pass the ball or look for a ball screen or something like that. It's really slight, and we'll pull it right here. So he's going to cross the ball over, and he's going to look over to his left, just slightly, right there. And you can see how he's shifting his feet backwards, almost like he's retreating, looking over at Josh Hart in this corner over here. And White just allows himself to relax for a quick second. Brunson hits him with a little step through move, and that's really all it takes. And White is right there with him, so it's not like White completely fell asleep at the wheel here, but this slight little move where he just looks off and then comes back, a head fake can do a lot for a player, and it's just enough for Brunson to be able to get this shot off. So of course I have to include this clip, because when it comes to Jalen Brunson ankle breakers, this clip is at the top of the list, right? I love Alex Caruso, okay? I love the guy. I think he's great. He's a spectacular defender. I was making fun of a couple other people, but here's the thing. The past couple clips we've seen, Brunson has played against very good defenders and still gotten the shot off, which is a testament to how good offensively Brunson is. He's playing against people who, I'm going to give him credit where credit's due, a lot of them are playing pretty solid defense. In this case right here with Caruso, it happens. It happens, A change of direction move like that, a lot of times guys will be able to catch up. Sometimes there's a wet spot on the floor. Sometimes they just, hit the lip of their shoe, just doesn't, bite onto the ground. And you end up on your butt. And that happens, right? Again, we'll give Brunson his credit and his flowers right here, He's attacking very hard to his left. Caruso is trying to beat him to the spot. Brunson pulls back, realizing that he has Caruso going so hard in one direction and has changes direction in the other. He happens to get Caruso to fall, and he's like, well, I have an open shot here. It's not going to get more open than that. And he hits the shot. Again, sometimes you're going to get somebody to fall down on a move like that. Sometimes you won't. In this case, he does. What Brunson does right here is he reads Donovan Mitchell's feet, and he uses that to his advantage. The reason why he gets the angle here is because he reads Donovan Mitchell's feet, and let me explain exactly what that means. So, Donovan Mitchell commits kind of a crucial sin. He is doing a couple of things right here. If you're looking at his stance, he's doing a couple things right here that are not recommended. A lot of coaches want to force the offensive player baseline and cut off the middle. And the way you do that is not by just raising your top foot and cutting off the middle. That actually makes things worse. What you do instead is you position your body more towards the middle, giving that side, but you're still square. So you'll position, so say the offensive player's right here, that's the baseline over there, right? If you're the defender, instead of being straight up with them right here, you just move over a little bit and you cut off all this middle. You just move over right there, right? I'm trying to do this with depth and stuff. That's how you take away middle, right? You don't adjust your feet one way or the other, you just move over right or left. That's all it is. And Mitchell is not doing that, right? Not doing that. What he's doing is he's cutting off the middle, but unfortunately Brunson is left-handed, so he is giving him the left side. Not ideal, but okay. What Brunson does right here is he realizes that top left foot from Mitchell is ripe for the taking. If you can get by that top foot, the recovery for Mitchell is going to be a lot harder. And so he's saucing him up a little bit, watching Mitchell switch his feet. What he does right here is on this crossover, he's throwing his feet right there, boom, throwing his feet like he's attacking left, then crossing over. It's a 1-2 kind of move. He's throwing his feet to get that fake, and because of that, Mitchell thinks, oh, he's going left. There's that little shift in the feet right there, so we'll just play through the whole thing. The fake, Mitchell reacts, he crosses over and gets on Mitchell's top foot and drives by him. Mitchell is now hip to hip with him, and Brunson has the advantage at that point because he's able to lean into Donovan Mitchell, get that contact, and then finish. And Mitchell is honestly not in a good defensive position by the time that he's all the way into the paint. So, nice little fade from Brunson to avoid Jared Allen's reaching hand. And honestly, just a great play. Again, read the defender's feet, and it's going to do you a lot of good. Another thing that Brunson does is he's very well controlled under speed. So he doesn't let himself fly and flail out of control when he's making a move. He's got another really good defender on him. He's got Drew Holiday on him from the old Milwaukee days. And what he's doing right here is he's attacking and he just stops and pops, right? He will use Holiday's momentum against him. There might be a push off there. I don't know. I can't tell from this angle. But regardless, he's using that momentum against him and putting the defender on their heels because he's in control. He realizes Holiday, right here, he realizes Holiday's kind of beat me to the spot, right? He's going to beat me to the spot. Instead of that, I'm going to stop and pop and go in the other direction because I don't have an advantage if I keep pushing this way. In order to do a pullback move, you gotta get the defender moving pretty hard in a direction that you're not actually going. So you gotta get them shifting, thinking that you're driving, thinking that you're attacking in a separate direction. That's exactly what he does with Van Fleet right here. He attacks really hard to his left, goes between, and just steps back from there. He just needs to get Van Fleet moving in one direction so he can go into the other. And you notice, based on the way that the defense is set up right here, I think that's Siakam in the corner with Fournier, he doesn't really have an angle to go left. He knows that, but Van Fleet doesn't know that. So Van Fleet's not letting him just, He's not going to let him drive, right? Because he knows that he's left-handed and that he wants to attack that direction. But Brunson knows he doesn't really have an angle there, so all he needs to do is get Van Fleet moving and then pull back, and he can get that three-point shot he's looking for. So we'll take a look at this in real time. That between, pull back, and Van Fleet's right on top of him still. But Jalen Brunson doesn't need a lot of space, and the best NBA players don't need a ton of space in order to get that shot off, and that's exactly how he scores right there. This is super subtle. It's a head fake. Again, he knows how to use those subtle little cues with his shoulders, cues with his feet, with his hips, with his hands, with his head, moving his head to get the defender to relax or believe that he's doing something that he's not. In a lot of these plays, he will step back into a three just seamlessly, just right out of the dribble, and he won't even make an attack move. That is pretty normal for him, and I think Pal is also looking for that right here, that he might step back into a three. Right now, what Brunson does is he just wants to see how Pal reacts. So that head comes up, like he's gonna shoot, and Pal lunges forward just a little bit. You can see how his weight is on that lead leg. That's not what you want. That's not what you want. His weight is leaning forward, which makes it very difficult when Brunson is going to attack in the other direction and Pal is going to have to shift back to recover. That crossover move, Pal's got to switch his feet. It's taken a lot of time. Brunson's already by him, in front of him, and hits that floater, high arcing floater, right over Zubac's. Beautiful, beautiful shot. But it all comes from that little itty-bitty head fake. Right here. Head fake. Pal jumps just a little. That's all he needs. And he can take it from there, right? Brunson's the type of guy who can finish with either hand over anyone or under anyone. He can do it. And once he gets in the paint, it's very, very difficult to stop him when he's going downhill. So we saw him do that between and then pullback move against Fred VanVleet, and it worked. He got enough space that he was looking for. In this move, this time he didn't get it, right? So he decides to reset and try something else. So the move that he's had work before doesn't work. That pullback, nothing there. What he does instead is he's trying to get Dinwiddie to just shift backwards a little bit so he can get into that three-point shot. So he just hits Dinwiddie with one more move, and he gets the same result. Same move. Between. Dinwiddie recovers, pull back, still within space. Crosses over between. Dinwiddie shifts backwards right there. That's all the space he needs. Boom. Pulls back into it. It's not a lot. It's only a couple more inches. But that's everything Brunson needs to get the shot off. That's all we have today for Ankle Breaker Breakdown with Jalen Brunson. Again, this guy is underrated as far as his handles go. He is incredibly crafty and knows exactly how much space he needs to get that shot off, to get that floater off, to get that layup, that scoop shot, whatever it is. He knows how to get to the cup better than anybody else. And again, he uses a lot of different ways to go about it. He's not just all speed. He's got some brains in there too, and I think that that's the interesting thing to point out is Brunson is really elite because he's elite in many categories. But for those of you who are new, subscribe, like the video. You can like the video whether or not you're new or not, I appreciate it either way. I do have a TikTok and an Instagram. They're in the description if you want to give those a look-see. Just some shortened content, some breaking down stuff in a little bit more concise format. And some additional stuff, Take a look. I think it's fun. Also, for those of you who love listening to me talk about breakdowns and stuff like that, I do that all the time. I do it on my live streams on Sundays. That's at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is called Day of Reps. It's my little podcast stream thing. It's a lot of fun. We broke down Caitlin Clark last week. This week, I think... I do know what we're actually doing this week. This week, I'm going to talk about boxing for basketball. Do you actually, you see a lot of guys practicing boxing and stuff like that. Is that something that you are interested in? Is that something that actually will help you become a better ball player? Is learning how to, hit the pads? we're going to talk about it. I think that it's very interesting, especially a lot of NBA players will do that and post that on their Instagrams in the off season. So we're going to take a look, and if you tune in, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there. But with that, again, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.